good amount of coordination, and sometimes it's a bit difficult. But if used right, it definitely can just abuse the game and snowball it. And there is going to be an Ari Kog'Maw pick for purple team, and Ari is actually a very, very good pick. Ari has no real tough time with matchups. She can really deal with anything. There's some stuff like an AP Kog'Maw, for example. I cannot lane against an Ari as AP Kog'Maw because they just max Foxfire and I die at 6 no matter what, most cases. She even has wave clear if she maxes her orb first, so she may be going against maybe a Nivea or TF, and she has that orb to clear back with the blue buff. So Ari is a very solid pick, most cases, and she will be laning against the TF, so he's extra squishy, so there is kill potential at 6, especially with the Nocturne gank. There's a lot of kill potential on that. And blue team's going to go ahead and pick up Udyr and Riven. And the thing about some of these jungles and top lane situations is they can both possibly be top lane. I mean, there could be jungle Riven, which isn't too uncommon. It has been done, it's been seen before, it's nothing unoriginal. So there could be a jungle Riven, there could be a jungle Udyr, you don't really know. And the thing about this matchup too is the other team, depending on their top lane, and they will be top laning Jarvan, it looks like, is if it was to be a top lane Udyr, he'd have to go some MR because Tiger Stance is magic damage. If it's to be a top lane Riven, he would have to go more armor because Riven is strictly physical damage. But it does actually look like Udyr will be going jungle and Riven will be going top. But purple team does not actually know this, so we'll have to see how that plays out. And I'm not really sure about the team summoners. I think they may be trolling and change it last second, but we'll see.
I think they'll probably change it last second. I think what it might be is that they're trying to stop summoner ghosting, people like watching the stream and trying to pick up their summoner spells, so they're going to wait till the last minute to switch them out, is my guess.
Well, that's true. I never really thought about that.
Yeah, when we stream, we actually have little icons, little raise your weapon icons that block all the little things. But, I mean, obviously, you don't do that a lot, and I don't think it's too common. I don't think it's too... Oh, will they switch them? I imagine they will. Yeah, there they are.
Yep.
All at once. Bam!
It was like last second too.
Yeah, had them all locked in already. They were like, we got this. But yeah, the pick strategy, you know, like you were saying, you know, when you go, especially if you go, you know, like characters like GP or Udyr, sometimes you can try to bait your opponents into a pick, especially Gangplank's really, like, people love to counterpick Gangplank, and a lot of times, you know, you can just Gangplank top and then you just, you know, throw him in the jungle and you throw back your actual top solo. So a lot of the top solos that are interchangeable in the jungle are really effective to pick early, or good picks early, because you can try to, you know, outthink your opponents, or make them think at least when they're picking, because a lot of teams like to save their solo lanes for their last picks.
Especially when you catch them off guard, because a lot of cases top lane does come down to like a 1v1 matchup a lot of time, so it has a big, like, runes play a really big part, I'd have to say. So if you don't have the right rune setup for armor or magic resistance top lane, you're gonna have a much harder time top. So a little swap around through jungle and top lane, or a wrong guess, can make your, like, lane much difficult, as I was saying. So
yeah, for sure. And it looks like both tops are going ignite, so there's no teleport, there's no map presence with that. They both want to go ignite, they just want to kill each other. I don't know if we're going to see as much trading as we saw last game, which was pretty ridiculous. Looks like both supports have gone exhaust. I've actually been toying around with, when a lot of times when I play support, I'll actually go, I actually will forgo flash, especially with Janna. I'll run exhaust team heal, simply because it helps you have an advantage in that bottom lane, and I've found a lot of times you can be in a decently bad situation with Janna and still get out just because of her kit. So in that case, and because of that, a lot of times I'll just forgo the flash and just make sure my positioning, you know, the downside of that is you have to make sure your positioning is really good throughout the game, and then in team fights, so that you don't have to get in that scenario where you would have to flash in all you're already there ready set up to go in and do it. But the trade-off is you have some more, you know, dominance in bottom lane.
some team comps you really can't get away without flash. Like, she probably would be able to maybe get away without flash, but there is a Jarvan, and if she gets Jarvan ulted, she's gonna probably die unless she ults them all out. But she's still rooted there because the Coliseum will remain there for a good 3 seconds, so she'll knock him out, but they'll just probably run right back to her.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Jarvan is one of those characters kind of bucks that because of his Cataclysm.
I'm actually kind of excited to see a Jarvan top lane. There was a time when Jarvan was the go-to champ top lane and just stomped everyone, everything. But since he's been nerfed like 2-3 times, you don't really see top lane Jarvan practically ever. So seeing top lane Jarvan is going to be very fun to watch. So I'm pretty excited for that one, especially the matchup against a Riven.
Yeah, I mean, I remember those times because I think I randomly played him in a ranked game, just out of the blue. I was just like, all right, like I'll try Jarvan, and I think I was like 8-0 and dominated. So I remember those times, like because I was like, first time Jarvan, what?
Yeah, I remember there's this one guy like A8037. He has like 3 accounts during the Jarvan era, and all he did was play Jarvan. And he got them all like top 50. It's all the same guy, and all he did was play Jarvan. And I had him in the game once, and he tells me, "Hey, I can 1v2. I'm Jarvan. Don't worry." So he goes bot lane and tries to 1v2 and feeds, goes like 0-5, and he had like a 80% win rate, like 30 games played, and I was just face palming the entire time. I was so upset.
The elaborate troll.
Yep. That was a terrible day. I was so upset with that guy.
It's so funny too, because people like I mean, there's all these like the ELO hell conversations and stuff like that. It's like it's no better the higher ELO you get. Really, people still troll you. Like, I mean, generally like you can trust the players on your team somewhat more, but it's still a roulette game.
It gets to the point with top ELO, people just don't care. Like, I'll jungle Yi and stuff. Like, I'm not trying to play my best all the time. I'd rather have more of an entertaining time, entertain some viewers when I stream. Play jungle Yi, play brand mid, stuff like that, which are unconventional picks. Looks like both teams are pinging into mid river, and they will both be not going there actually, but they did both ping there. It would have been cool to see a level 1 fight where they pinged, but purple team is going right there. Blue team has worded their rates.
They can see Soraka, but Soraka can actually not see them in vision. Now she can. Flash, yellow
and there's
card.
Flash gold card.
Riven's on her with broken wings, but she will get exhausted. Knight going down onto Soraka. They probably will be able to pick this off. Yes, and there is first blood for the blue team. And Kog'Maw's not out of this quite yet. Bear stands close, but Charm is going to save him. Great Charm right there from Ahri. So she has gotten Charm first now because of that level 1 team fight.
That was actually a very good broken wings from Riven. I didn't really expect her to do 2 bounces, flash, and then get the last one for the slow. I think if she was to go key strike, she would not have been able to catch him. That was a very good move by Riven.
Yeah, that was pretty clutch. So great start for blue team, right there. And Riven's actually going to start with the first kill advantage, so she's actually going to be able to buy a little bit extra items when she goes in lane. Possibly. Looks like she's waiting. No, she's not going to buy any extra items. Or is she? She's toying with me.
She sold 1 potion, it looks like, so she may be getting Adorns to go to lane.
Yeah, there it is.
And there's the Adorns.
So that's that's not what you want to see in top lane, because top lane is one of the most snowbally lanes. When one side gets an advantage, they can snowball it really, really hard.
Especially against a Jarvan. I mean, Jarvan just doesn't have the sustain. Going in the lane with Adorns is going to be very rough for this Jarvan. Kind of sad. I want to see a very good matchup in fair ones, so I hope this Jarvan pulls through and does fine.
And Udyr got a really hard pull and has saved his smite, so he's probably going to go over there and use that on red to get a quick red.
And there's the harass already. 1 broken wings brought Jarvan at 30%.
Yeah, that's going to be a rough lane. And Riven is one of those characters that scales really, really hard with AD. So even that little bit early is going to have a huge effect.
See, now that I'm actually spectating game and I've been playing Riven a lot, I'm going to pick up a lot of things from this guy. I actually noticed that like each broken wings he did hit or get an auto attack off, which I usually just wait for 3 stacks, and now I think that I probably should never do that. I've also been messing around with mid Riven too. That's actually fun. Beats a lot of mids, but TF is caught out of position here, and he has no flash. TF has no fear, or he will get the fear off, but it is too late. He got gold card before he got it off.
Yeah, good, good player right there, able to escape out of that situation. does luckily still have that level advantage, and Nocturne is low on mana. He's really slow onto his blue here. And Misfortune with that early lane advantage bottom. Just pushing the wave into the turret. And also doing a little bit of zone out here.
I actually like that MF with that assist gold early. She went back and got one extra push and a ward. I love seeing ADs get wards. I feel like they should always get a few wards no matter what. Release some pressure, gives the support the opportunity to get some gold per 5s, and so I like to see that he got a ward.
Yeah, we actually try to have a rule when with the people that I play with that everybody tries, to always like, if they can pick up a ward, just do it because it's so beneficial to your team. I mean, it just helps because a lot of times you'll have those AP mids or ADs like you said that they just won't buy wards at all during the game. It's like you need it. And TF in a little bit of trouble here. Probably could have used a ward, but Nocturne's not going to spell shield the yellow card, but it's not going to matter that charm lands. And Nocturne's actually going to pick up that kill in mid, so good little gank there.
See, that's the thing about wasting, like, they used 2-3 flashes early for that first blood, which it was worth it, but you get to play a lot more defensively. As TF, you can't be pushing your lane that much, because a jungle gank will know that, or the jungler will know that your flash is down. They will abuse that, especially if it was, let's say, like a Maokai or a Shaco gank or something like that. They know your flash is down, they're going to abuse you, and they're going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and the thing is, even the escape that he, the out that he did have, which was, that gold card, still, if Nocturne was, spell shields that, or as he comes in, he has no out. It would have been, he would have done even harder. It ended up not mattering, but Nocturne waiting in the wings here knows that Riven might still be there and trying to press her advantage. See if he does go in for the gank.
It's going to be a bit of a rough gank. This Jarvan does not have enough for his little combo. So, and she has her Broken Wings and Valor. So I'm not
Flash.
sure about this gank.
Yeah. I don't think she will need it. She does go in. Thought that might be the time that Nocturne goes. He's wasting kind of a bit of time here. Nocturne, if he doesn't get this gank, it's a huge waste of time for him. And there's the key strike. We need out of this. Just Broken Wings. Yep. I mean, because he wants to hit 6 as fast as possible too, much like a Warwick does. And Ahri going in onto mid, Spirit Rush going down, sneaking out a little bit of damage there, and TF is chugging pots. Gonna farm wolves. That's a good thing too that we see this TF doing, because a lot of people don't do it. Bottom players, stuff like that. And oh my gosh, Riven gets a kill on top. Nocturne coming in.
Oh man, I missed it. Looks like it was a 2v1 top, and Riven managed to combo, used everything, even flash, or maybe the flash was for the escape, but she did manage to get the ignite combo burst with the ult, which a lot of people don't really expect. As a Kennen player, sometimes I may pick, or when Riven was like at her most OP, I'd do the matchup Riven versus Kennen top, and I'd found myself losing like way too often to Riven's at 6. They'd flash ignite and I'd die, I'd have nothing to do. So I'd have to like change my build around, and I have to go double door and shields just to win, or not even win the lane, just to live in lane against a Riven.
Yeah, which is another important point. I think a lot of players don't think about. They go to a website or something, they get a build, and they're just like, all right, this is what I do always. Players like you that have to play those matchups. You're like, hey, no, I have to itemize for this. It's not necessarily about the end game early. It's like getting through the early game so you can farm up to get those items in the first place. And so that kind of exposes it right there. It's a good thing for newer players or people that want to get better to think about.
There's good guy Udyr warding for Riven. Riven's gonna go ahead and start off with a BF sword out. 7.5 minutes in, I think she bought that.
Yeah, that's never a good sign. And waiting in the wings here for this Nocturne, and he has that spell show up, which is why she. Oh wow, great timing!
Oh my god, that damage!
She just waited on that spell shield. It just fell off. And the thing about Wind Slash that I think a lot of people don't necessarily know about if you don't play Riven is it actually is an execute ability. It deals more damage based on missing health. So it can have really, really, really high burst, especially in that case Nocturne is so low. But It is really important for players to realize too. If she gets you low and that wind slash comes in, that's why it does so much damage.
It was actually very good timing by Riven too. She knew that Nocturne did start red and he would most likely be there, or she was just going to take it because she's strong enough to just bully and go into the jungle at this point and just take anything she wants.
Yeah, and as we were talking about earlier, just the simple snowball of top lane, the early kill, she's converted it with farm into a BF sword, which she scales so hard off. She scales so hard off of AD. So it's good. Jarvan, he needs the help from Nocturne, but Nocturne's tried to help and it hasn't worked out for them. And now she's almost...
Yeah, his best bet's to just now get 6 at this point.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole beginning of this game, the whole trade was TF death for a First Blood Riven to Snowball. And it was well worth it, because top lane is the most and biggest snowball lane there is, and this Riven's doing a great job of snowballing.
Udyr baiting a fight, flash up the wall, almost escapes, TF coming in. They're going to trade 1-for-1, Charm coming off onto Twisted Fate as Ahri tries to back out of this. And there is the yellow card following her up, double shot coming in. Just barely not enough. That Soraka heal actually saving Ahri, but that wild card coming in, and Ahri and Soraka are so low here. Kog'Maw actually fighting them both off here. Great little juke by TF, escaping out, and that was almost so close to 2 kills right there.
That was actually very well played by the Soraka. She actually flashed, summoned her heal, and used her heal, saving Ahri and saving herself. She lived and got out with that about 20 life, and Ahri got out of there with about like 10% life as well.
Looking at the CS bottom, 76 to Kog'Maw's 51, so 25 CS advantage for Miss Fortune right now, which is definitely an advantage in lane. Plus she has the 2 assists, so she has quite a lead on Kog'Maw in the early game, which is what she needs to do. She needs, she needs to be that dominant get that dominant early game advantage that she's known for, and snowball as hard as she can. Because late game she won't be as good as Kog'Maw.
Yeah, like you said there, I feel like we never really did our predictions in this at all, but I'd have to say that blue team has a very snowball-y team, especially with their bot lane and their top lane, whereas... Oh, and he's actually going to check double goal in this Riven, and realize it's not there. Nocturne's going to be fighting 1v1. You don't want to do this, it's Riven.
No! Wind Slash comes in Ignite, and that's kill secured.
Oh man, I was looking for this rock ulti and I realized she was on the other team.
Yeah.
Support Nocturne. And Jarvan, this Riven's just being a bully.
Yeah, this Riven's gonna be completely out of hand. Their jungle can't support this, Jarvan can't do anything about her. They basically just have top lane. It would almost be better for them. They either need to bring a lot more resources up top to try to get a kill off on her, and get that kill streak bonus gold, or they need to start focusing on pushing in for other objectives or something like that, because Jarvan really can't do much up here. He's going to farm under his turret for about 2 CS. Riven's just free farming their top jungle. Udyr's farming their jungle. This poor Nocturne, he's finally hit level 6, but he has like really no map presence, which is not what you want as a Nocturne.
This Riven actually got about like a 10.5 minute Bloodthirster, which is incredibly early. And the thing about, and there is a gank plot actually, but Kog'Maw will flash out, but they will take the tower out of that.
It is important to note too that the reason they did dive that is because the tower was low, so they could kill it too in the process of diving in there if they weren't able to catch anybody with a gold card. So good work by blue. It is a little early to kill the tower, but it's okay. I think they have enough advantage. They want to snowball that they can just start taking other objectives. But it will give Kog'Maw, if they want to, a little bit more room to farm. And now a big trade going down bottom. But Miss Fortune's getting the better of this, has those Imperial shots to limit the healing. Howling Gale's just barely not going to have enough range. And Miss Fortune running out of a little bit of mana here, but she switched over onto Soraka. Soraka does not have a heal. Double Up's going to pick up the kill. And just great pressure from bottom. And now here we go. The resources are top, but Riven's just going to easily back out of this. So elusive. With all her skills, can run away very easily. Unless they're able to initiate with a charm or something to keep her in there.
And that's the worst feeling too, is once you leave your lane to go help another lane, like from a mid, is you just pretty much lose your tower, or almost did. They just did about 50% of the tower's life in one push, and that was because Ahri decided to go try to help top lane out. which it did not work out at all. And mid is one of those lanes where, as like top lane and bot lane, sometimes they don't want to take that tower. They want to abuse what they can, keep them in lane, because they might just freeze it at the second tower. Whereas mid, it's a lot different. You can go ahead and take mid tower whenever you want, because they're not really going to freeze mid lane. It's a bit more difficult to do that.
And as we look here, blue is going to pick up a dragon, even more of an advantage. They have almost a 6k gold advantage at less than 15 minutes, which is pretty huge early game. A lot of that is partly because of the gold, but a lot of that also means that they surely have a level advantage as well, which is really big.
Here's Riven roaming through the enemy jungle, just picking up anything she can. I think she should at this point have a full Bloodthirster stack. She's just looking for anything to farm. She can go anywhere and anything, like go anywhere. She can't really be fought at this point. Nocturne's not strong enough, Jarvan's not strong enough. Even with Ahri, I feel like if they were to try to fight like 2v1, he could burst down an Ahri 100-0. And she is going in for the kill right now on Jarvan, but Jarvan will flash out.
So good job on him actually being able to escape out of that right there. But you know, that's all Riven has to do. She's going to regulate and keep getting that farm up. 133 farm to Jarvan's 101. It's actually almost kind of a little bit impressive. He's at least at 100. But I mean, that advantage is going to keep snowballing the item advantage. And Jarvan's not going to have a huge presence when it comes into the late game too. You know, he's not going to quite be tanky as he wants. But meanwhile, Udyr coming in onto middle, Spirit Rush going to get her just barely out of that. Nocturne pops his ult, looking to maybe counter gank, but they're going to quickly walk away from that.
Because he just uses ult for the scare.
Yeah.
It seemed to not be necessary, but it worked. I mean, he can't really gank anything at this point, so might as well use it there for the scare.
Yeah, and if anything too, if you know maybe Ahri was stunned there, you know you can remove vision if she gets to use another Spirit Rush stack. And Udyr just in the enemy jungle. He has oracles. He knows that they do not know he is here, so he is free to make these moves. They do have the blue warded as well. And Riven finally getting chased down here, but to no avail. She's just too elusive, too fed. And
she'd actually have to burn her flash, which was a good move from Nocturne. Like, now that her flash is down, I feel like it saves Ahri's life in a future team fight, because at this point, one combo from Riven, Ahri is dead, especially since she did use flash mid. Her Spirit Rush may not be up or in a team fight. It may just lose its stacks, and she's going to just instantly die.
So it looks like Riven has picked up a Hex Drinker next.
And there was a tower dive bot actually on the tower, and tower is at 75% life. They just didn't really care. They just dove it anyways, and dove the Kog'Maw. There was a gold card at tower, wild cards, and he died like instantly.
And that was actually a great move right there. We saw bottom. Janna actually moved forward intentionally and ate the charm for Misfortune and TF, which is a really solid support move. Not enough, supports, they try to stay safe a lot, but that's a really heads-up move, just going in there and eating that charm for her teammates. And Riven's gonna take top turret. It is basically her lane to win or lose at this point. Soraka really low, and I think TF was maybe looking for a sneaky kill there.
Someone also pointed out that there are 4 gold for 10s on the team with the 9k advantage compared to the 1.
Yeah, that actually, Udyr has 2, so does Janna. And they have, they're heading up towards a 10k advantage early in this game. Riven being chased, they finally might pick her up here. Flashes in, Spirit Rush. Key strike to try to escape out, but finally Nocturne, sweet revenge, gonna be able to pick up a kill on the Riven. So finally got her down, but at the cost of that is a bottom turret, which might be too costly, but that is the top solo's job right there, is to cause so much of an effect that you can control the map and open up other objectives, and that's basically been the story of this game. Even when they sent up other resources to go do that, blue team would quickly recognize it. They'd put a lot of damage on mid turret, take mid turret. In this case, they're taking bottom turrets as well. So blue team looking very strong here.
I actually talked to Boyboy and Dignitas one day about top lane, and their whole plan was to have such an effective snowball at top lane where they have to draw the jungler to top, especially as blue team. Like that just means other objectives around the map are all open for open to be picked up, because if top lane's already always being camped or needing help, then they can take dragons, because their jungler can go take buffs, farm their jungle, counter jungle, and whatnot. That is the jungler or top lane's job, is to draw the jungler to help him out, and this is exactly what Riven is doing. He's doing a very good job of that.
I definitely have to agree. Riven, total gold is almost 8K at this point, which is double almost most of the members of the purple team.
Oh wow.
And Jarvan get a little caught out here, but Nocturne's going to come in here. Soraka coming in to back this up. They've actually been quite split. Ahri very, very low, trying to back out this. Riven all in, going to pick up the kill onto Nocturne. Going up farther, and now Soraka's picked up. And a double kill for Riven, and just more kills for Riven. So now if they want Kog'Maw in a bad position here, there's the yellow card. It's surely going to be another kill. TF's going to pick that up. Stack deck burst damage like you were talking about earlier. And now we're just going to push on to mid turret. They can probably get maybe 2 inhibs out of this. I believe they can. They can get bottom inhib if they want as well.
I feel like they're healthy enough too, where if their whole team was to spawn when they're getting second inhib, they could fight them.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Like, TF has not enough mana, but if he goes ahead and blue cards, he may be ready for a team fight once more, and I think they would actually probably win it at this point.
Yeah, that is one thing you do have to be careful about, though. I mean, purple team did use a lot of their ults as well in that team fight, I believe. So they're not going to have them when they come into the fight, but it is important, you know, when you do push like that, you know, sometimes don't get too greedy. It is easy to turn around and get wiped. And so purple team, we might have a desperation Baron here. That's why Think is going down. They realize the blue team is going to back off. So we will have the you know, last-ditch effort. Let's run to Baron, try to do it when we know they are back. And blue team recognizes they're running as fast as possible. Riven, oh, if they can pick off Riven, that's going to be key. Instead, they're going to go for Janna first, though. And Janna might actually skip us. No, she's not going to be able to. Ignite's going to pick that off with that true damage. And Riven is like 1v4. No,
that was a
deal,
very good silence from Soraka.
Bullet time.
All getting stunned.
That was pretty clutch, and one more broken wings chase, and we might have a triple kill for Riven. TF's going to pick up Kog'Maw in the meantime, and here we go, flash after Soraka running for her life. Fear possibly going down onto Riven. It's going to get tethered, and she's going to get charmed. And that one bear stance is going to seal the fate for Nocturne right there. And this should probably be game. I believe they can push down these 2 Nexus turrets and clear out the Nexus here.
I still like that silence from Soraka. She really saved so many people's lives there, I feel like. She stopped 4 people from getting stunned, which could have been followed up by the bullet time. And 4 people stuck in a bullet time, that would have been about like 25% life.
Oh yeah. I think it was also pretty, I mean, I have to give him props too, because that was actually pretty good coordination. To have her waiting in the wings there, though, and kind of Riven kind of back off and pull him into the bullet time. So, good game. I mean, blue team looking, I mean, stellar, really. The Riven play definitely, you know, the story of the game almost. I mean, the rest of the team played well, but that early kill and just that conversion into a win, you know, that's the kind of thing you want to have from your top lane. It's, you know, the quintessential top play.
Let's see.